talk to you about dividing decimals. So you've probably already done some work with dividing decimals, but I'd still like to do this with you and you try to answer my questions at home, just like we're in class, okay? So in your workbook, 4th grade, when you're looking at exercise 34 and you start dividing decimals, I want you to kind of think about it in a picture form too. So let me ask you a question. If these were coins, what kind of coins would they have to be if I wanted them to equal $1.20? Would they be quarters, or dimes, or nickels, or pennies? Well, let's think about it. $1.20. That's 1 20 hundredths, right? So you probably guessed these would have to be dimes. And we can write 0.1 or we can write 0.10. It's the same thing, isn't it? It's 1/10. Think about it. You need 10 dimes to make a whole dollar, don't you? So I'm going to put those in here. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. Because this is 10 of the tenths, makes a whole, and the 2 extras. So what if I said divide this $1.20 by 4? So divide it by 4 means divide it into 4 groups. How much would be in one group? I know you're sitting there saying, Mrs. Bodine, this is so easy. Yes, well, you're getting the hang of it now. So $1.20 divided by 4. This is one way we can write it. We could also write it this way. 1.2 divided by 4. And as we learned in class, we could add zeros forever if we wanted to. Doesn't matter when the zeros are going that way after the decimal. All right, either way, we're going to get the same answer, aren't we? You're probably sitting there saying, well, 10, 20, 30. 0.3 would be the answer. All right, I rewrote the problem so it's easy to see, and I want to talk to you about the shortcut that you probably noticed already. You know that the answer based on this picture is 0.1 plus 0.1 plus 0.1, which is 0.3, right? 3/10. So you know that the answer is going to go like this, but now I'm asking you to notice what is the shortcut that you can see here. Well, if we just ignore this decimal point, don't we have 12 divided by 4? Which would be a very easy problem for you 4th graders. 12 divided by 4 is 3. Easy. And then we look at the decimal point and say, okay, there is one place in this problem. And so we are going to go one place in our answer. And when you do it this way, in long division, you want to remember that your decimal point always goes straight up. It rests right above the decimal point in the problem, and then you divide as usual, subtract, no remainder. So just like usual, really, except for adding a decimal. So now that you know this, let's do a couple of practice problems. Let's do 1.8 divided by 9. All right, so our little shortcut is ignore the decimal point, and what do we have? 18 divided by 9. I don't hear you, Spide. 2? All right, good job. And how many places do we have in the problem? We have one decimal place in our problem. And so we move, in our minds, we move our decimal point one place. So if you imagine this as money, $1.80 divided into 9 groups, each person would get 20 cents, right? So you can also think of it that way. Let's try this one. Okay, in this problem, if we ignore the decimal, it's 630 divided by 3. I bet some of you are noticing 63 here and a 0. What is 63 divided by 9? Spud? Spud's not saying much, but I bet you figured it out. 63 divided by 9 is 7. We have 1 0 to bring over. And we have 2 decimal places. 1, 2. Now let's check our answer. What is 0.70 times 9? 7 times 9 is 63. Bring our 0 over. 2 decimal places. 1, 2. Look at that. I checked my answer and I'm sure now that this is correct.